Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about working overtime. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, when your team is working on a high priority issue, would you expect them to work at night or over the weekend to solve the issue if it is customer impacting? Yes, I would. Given that the severity of the situation is like, let's say that we have like a bug or something like that that has brought down the whole system, then yes, or let's say that there is an unforeseen feature that is so important that it's like life or death type of situation, then yes, I would. But at the same time, I would also be there in the trenches with them. I would be working with them during this situation, and I have been in this situation several times. And I would also make damn sure that this is a once in a blue moon type of situation, where if this is something that is a reoccurring pattern, then they don't have to complain about it. I'm gonna quit. Because I firmly and very strongly state that if a company has the attitude that we expect our workers to go out of the way and work overtime, like go basically breach the agreements of your contract in favor of the company, which is, as I like to tell people who like the founders and so forth, dude, if you founded the company and you have the idea that your workers are going to be as committed to your mission as you are, then you are fucking a narcissistic idiot. If you work overtime, we were talking about it is your company. I've talked to like founders of companies and so forth about this, where you are, if something goes wrong in your company and there's a downturn, all these people you're going to fire to keep your own employment. This is absolutely not, doesn't mean that you don't deserve the progress that you've made, but at the same time, when you decide to move on from this company, you bank out like millions and millions while still taking out a salary, depending on what state of the company as well. It's a complicated situation in a sense, but let's not pretend like that successful business owners are not making more money than the workers themselves. So when you are asking them to work overtime, you're still going to pay them usually the same amount. You like, yeah, basically you're asking as the way I like to look at it is that the companies should be looking at this sort of situation as a favor they're getting from their employee, because the employee likes the job, the worker, and there is a situation where going the extra mile is necessary for the company to prosper, etc., etc. And I think everybody should pitch in and help out here. But having the mindset that this is something that should be expected is, as I said, it's sort of like companies expecting their software developers to know everything by themselves, or to be able to handle any type of situation or any type. I mean, it's always the case, right? You get put in a place of work where the expectations on you are insane, and the company just expects you to do that because you have ignorant bosses or things like that. And in my experience, that usually doesn't, well, it doesn't become very sustainable. And that's why I tell people that I work with relate, and when I'm in these such situations, I make it damn clear that they know that this is a favor. And I know that a few times I've had discussions with, as I said, managers or even founders of a company who felt like, well, what the fuck? Why are you? I mean, you should be committed to the company, to my mission. And I go, exactly. You have a mission with this thing, and you're so narcissistic and so naive that you think that just because you are excited about running this company and like the thing that is going to happen, and driving this ambition that you have, that everybody you hire should match your level of enthusiasm. But that's not how the world works, my friend. The reality is that when you work, as I said, when you work overtime, you are working on your baby. This is your life. This is your usually, because usually running a company it becomes your entire thing. And for most people who are working here, they were not signing up for that when they were taking this job, because if they had signed up for basically a cult-like mentality, then you would have had to pay them a lot more than you're paying them right now, most likely. So what I want you to take away from this is that yes, I would expect my team at the very least, and I've unfortunately had to be put people in that situation where I've had situations where we have to collaborate with teams overseas in the United States, and the time difference was horrible. And this was super fun. Nobody really wanted to. The Americans didn't want to go in on like office hours where there was like late evenings or early mornings, and the Swedes they didn't want to do that either, but someone has to fold. It's that simple because of this weird ownership model that we had. I've also been in companies where we've had crunches, we've had overtimes, we've had production issues where I worked into late, etc., etc. And when I'm dealing as a team lead, I don't care if it's not quote unquote my bug or my problem or anything like that. If I'm leading the team and there is something that requires us to work outside of office hours, that it's an emergency, I will be there with my team, because that is what a leader should be doing. You lead by example, at least in my book. And if I see that this is not something that is, as I like to say, a favor, it's not a one-time thing, it's not something that is just a bad situation where we have to help out the company or help each other out to get out of it. I see that this is a systematic thing, then I will raise that with whoever I can raise it with, and if they don't fix it, I quit. Because as I've said before, I do not believe that if you're gonna go the extra mile every single day of the week for a company, then it's basically the company's only sustainable by paying you less, or it's an ineffective work environment to begin with, and then you might as well start your own company and go and work overtime all the time. Have a great day.